what is up? Oh, what is up? What is up? No one's above the law. Ever hear me? You hear me?
No.
No one.
No
one is above the law. Well, maybe except a few people, like the left.
Yeah.
And did you also know that it is absolutely against the Constitution to arrest a judge? Did you know that?
So the Constitution doesn't apply to them? They have their own Constitution. They're above it.
No, it's just that they don't do stuff wrong unless you're Clarence Thomas. And then they can arrest you.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're perfect.
Or Gorsuch.
Perfect law-abiding citizens.
Yeah.
But they also do what but aren't they the ones that accuse us of doing exactly what it is that they do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to be technical, I guess, yeah, well, sure.
I mean, semantics, right?
Semantics.
If you want to know what a liberal is doing, wait for them to blame a Republican or a conservative.
Tomato,
wait for them to blame a conservative. Then you know what they're doing.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Some people say tomato, but I say tomato, potato, same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah. You ever bite into a tomato and think, man, this tastes like a potato?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
They rhyme. Tomato.
They rhyme, don't they? So they're the same.
Yeah. I mean, that's Bidenomics. Or Bidenologic.
Man.
You ever eat like a bowl of corn or a plate of corn and think it was peas?
I don't think I've had that happen.
No, not yet.
I mean, there's a first time for everything. I'm going to check that out tomorrow, I guess, and see how that works out for me. But I think we need to hear them say it from their own little filthy, trifling, homosexual gay mouth. I think we should hear them say it themselves a little, especially this dude here.
Yeah.
This dude is one of the worst.
Nobody's above the law. We only have one system of law for everyone.
Good.
Nothing about being an elected official gives you a license to commit crimes or a license to get away with it if you do. Why step up politically and defend a judge or a prosecutor? That's supposed to be a non-political part of our system. It's not like we didn't know it was going to be terrible. And it is terrible. He really did have a judge arrested today. A judge today. Are you kidding me?
No. Yeah. Not really. Not kidding you at all, Matthew Maddow. No, Marcus Maddow, whatever your first name is, dude. You said when it wasn't Trump doing it that nobody's above the law. Nobody. Everybody can get this smoke. Isn't the judge part of the everybody thing?
Well, what happened was law degrees and tenure, and I'm a judge.
You know, they're a judge. They're so esteemed. They're so great. They're so highly qualified. We can't arrest qualified people. A judge? Are you crazy? Well, you can't do that. No,
well,
I mean, do that.
Let's find out first what they're talking about her, okay? Because I know everybody loves the accusation against this beautiful, wonderful species of a human being. This judge she's so wonderful. Why would you talk bad about her? So let's
can we see this ravishing beauty?
No, I don't want. I want to keep the integrity of my computer.
Looks like Shrek.
I'll get to her in a second, though. Okay. Let's find out about the person that she was protecting, Mr. Eduardo Flores Ruiz. What was he? What's his case? What's his deal? Let's find out, shall we? Let's see if he's worth protecting. You know what I mean? Because if he is worth protecting, I have no problem protecting the man. But I have a suspicion that he's not worth protecting. So it's Flores Ruiz is a Mexican-born Mexican. Okay. All right, cool. So we have that. He's not protected by American civics or nothing like that because he's not American. Hopefully that clarifies one thing for you. Any due process he's due is to the case that he's an illegal immigrant and he needs to be kicked out. We clear on that?
Which falls under the jurisdiction of DHS.
Yeah,
Yes.
which falls under the who's presidents, right? Okay, cool. All right, cool. Just want to make sure. All right, cool. He is charged with 3 counts of misdemeanor battery with modifiers for domestic violence and inflicting of physical harm. Model citizen. Under Wisconsin law, domestic abuse can refer to any violence between people who live together, not just couples. Ruiz's charges stemmed from a March 12th fight that occurred between him and two roommates after he was accused of playing music too loudly in the home. You know, that mariachi stuff really does get onto some people's craw. It does mine. I don't mind Mexican music, but mariachi is where I draw the dang line. I'm sorry. I cannot stand that stuff.
Sounds like you're on a carnival ride.
Oh my gosh, I'm so good. Y'all can call me racist if you want, but I ain't tolerating that nonsense around me. I can't. Ooh, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
Sounds like something Condoleezza Rice will listen to.
Said, yeah, right. The complaint says Flores punched one roommate 30 times.
Wow.
Then hit a woman who tried to end the fight. He pleaded not guilty. So 30 punches, hit a woman, but the left is for women's rights. Just want to make sure we get that. He lived in the United States and was issued a notice and order of expedited removal in 2013. Who was president in 2013? Who was that guy? Black Jesus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Black Jesus? It was Black Jesus.
Yeah.
Barry Soetoro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. It wasn't Trump that tried to deport him, y'all. It was Black Jesus himself. All right, cool. He was arrested and deported to Mexico. But Barack deported the poor man? Oh, that poor Milwaukee guy just got deported from.
Wait a minute. Barack Obama, Black Jesus himself, deported a Milwaukee man.
Hey, that's crazy work.
The same way that President or Orange Man Bad deported a Maryland man.
Yes.
Ah, gotcha.
I just want to know why would he do that? That sounds like he's separating families and stuff. What?
And it's racism.
But black people can't be racist. Remember
they can't. No, but he had tried at the time, so he could.
That's right.
Department of Homeland Security stated that Ruiz never sought to obtain permission to return to the United States. Customs and Enforcement Removal Operations Office was informed that Flores was charged in a Milwaukee case and facing 3 misdemeanors of battery. So they showed up to try and arrest the dude because what? You ain't supposed to be here. How come you make it back, buddy? So his fingerprints and photographs were taken by the Milwaukee County Jail and electronically submitted to federal databases. ICE found that Ruiz's fingerprints matched the fingerprints of a Milwaukee County battery and domestic case and proceeded to develop an arrest plan. Now, what happened was this judge decided to interfere with ICE, block them from going after him by telling him to run, and she aided and abetted in the escape of a criminal, which is why she was arrested. She did not get arrested because she was being a patriot or being somebody nice. She was aiding and abetting a woman beater, a violent trespasser on American soil, and she deserves to be exactly that, arrested. And I don't even want to have her sent to no court case. You're a judge. You should have known better.
Yep.
You already know the difference. Put you in jail and leave you there. That's all I'm saying. I know we're innocent until proven guilty. Nah, sometimes it's pretty obvious if you're guilty. And this one is pretty stinking obvious. She guilty. What do you guys think of hers, this lady, so far?
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and this is your stupid prize that you play the game for.
You know, my question is why? You know, as vocal as, you know, the Trump administration and the DOJ and, you know, Homan has been vocal. They've been very vocal about their intentions, and they've came out and said that if you go against this order, we will arrest you. That's what they said, right? You remember them saying that? We don't care who you are. We will arrest you. She did it because she thought she was above the president's orders. She, you know, she thought she can just do it. I'm a judge. They can't arrest me. No. It's a separation of powers. A separation of powers doesn't mean you will be held accountable. You won't be held accountable for the crimes committed.
I do have a different take on why she did it. I do.
Faith. She needed
no. She was kind of hoping that she could possibly use him as a
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, so she wanted her own personal gardening
In
boy.
house.
Have you
Yeah.
not seen the kinds of white women that Mexicans go with when they come here? Like, let's be honest, okay? Hey, look, I live amongst them, okay, and they're everywhere here. I can speak because I'm seeing this firsthand. When they come here and they go get themselves a white girl, it is not the run-of-the-mill Barbie doll. They go after
Troglodytes.
the white Bertha, okay? I'm just saying. I'm just
Case in
saying.
point.
All right. And I think she was kind of hoping that she might get in on that action, that she at least get somebody.
She wants an in-house.
Somebody.
Hey, Marla, it's been a while. You know, the dating pool sucks these days. So
it do. And
she tried to bring them in, and you know, hey, you can stay here as long as you know.
She needs a tidal pool to fit, not a pond or nothing, you know.
Oh gosh.
That's a large individual. Again, that's just my theory. Just my theory on it. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest.
Yeah,
honest. Okay, that's all I'm being, is honest. Y'all can hate me if I say it, but disprove what I'm saying. How about that? How about you disprove my thought process about it?
If I was in his shoes and she was like, "You could stay here. You got to be my in-house," I'd be like, "Deport me.
Deport me now.
Send me back right now."
Country road, take me home.
I'd go across the Rio Grande myself.
Well,
I'm out.
In a more serious note, I mean, if that was the case and he decides to get his domestic DV on, might be telling a different story.
All of a sudden she'd be like, "Oh well, we definitely want him deported."
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
he had to be a little guy, I would assume, compared to her. So
no, he was
actually getting a domestic DV. Who would be?
He's pretty rotund. Like, he's not a small guy.
Oh, okay.
He's actually a fairly husky kid.
Oh yeah.
Let me show you what to do. I mean, I found his mugshot, and he does look like one of those workers. I ain't gonna lie, concrete pouring or something like that, you know, or the working out in
Home Depot
or Home Depot. And he looked like he would be a Family Guy character.
Oh, he's
like a legit Family Guy character.
Like, he does look like a legit Family Guy character. Like, I ain't even lying. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, okay, watch this. Let me bring him back up here. This is what the dude looks like. Tell me that's not Family Guy.
Oh yeah, easily.
Oh yeah, he's perfect for her.
Easily.
That's like a built-in Family Guy right there.
Straight up.
Hey, if the DOJ is listening right now, I need to find out if she was making out with this guy and she brought him in as an in-house, you know, booty call or something. You need to figure that out. I guarantee that's what was happening. I'm telling you.
Just not the image, guys. Seriously, stop.
Jaylee still has to eat. People, stop.
I do.
Let's hear what the report might have said.
The FBI arrested a Wisconsin judge for helping a man avoid immigration authorities. Here's what happened. Hannah Dugan, a Milwaukee County Circuit judge, was arrested by the FBI on April 25th on charges of assisting immigration agents in concealing an individual to prevent his discovery and arrest after she allegedly helped an undocumented immigrant evade authorities. Dugan is accused of escorting the man and his lawyer out of her courtroom through the jury door after learning that immigration authorities were seeking his arrest, according to the AP. The man was arrested outside the courthouse following Dugan's attempt to help him escape and was taken into custody following a short foot pursuit. Dugan appeared briefly in federal court after her arrest on Friday, where her lawyer stated that Judge Dugan wholeheartedly regrets and protests her arrest. It was not made in the interest of public safety. According to court documents.
How not?
What?
How is it not made in the interest of public safety? Hold on. Let me get this right. You attempted to get somebody released and avoid imprisonment who deserved to be in prison, not for the things he was standing before you about, but because of him leaving the country, being exported, and then he imported himself in when he wasn't supposed to. Mm-hmm. By law, you can't stop that because that is something that ICE is over. So yeah, it was a national security issue because he was a criminal that left, came back in a criminal 2 times over, and you decided to try and interfere with the lawful arrest of a criminal.
That part.
So
yes, it was national security.
And for this case, Mark, when he stood in front of her, it wasn't an immigration case, was it? Or it was for something else?
No, something else, and that's how they got alerted. Okay.
But why
documents, Dugan was alerted that ICE agents were present in the courthouse by her clerk, who had been informed by an attorney that authorities were waiting in the hallway. The FBI affidavit for Dugan's arrest describes the judge as visibly angry about the presence of immigration agents and that she pronounced the situation as absurd before leaving the bench and retreating to her chambers. The affidavit also states that Dugan engaged in a back and forth with agents regarding a warrant for the man's arrest before demanding that they speak with the chief judge and led them away from the courtroom. According to the affidavit, Dugan then ushered the man and his lawyer through the jury door, an action that is described as unusual because only deputies, juries, court staff, and in-custody defendants being escorted by deputies used the back jury door.
At this point, you kind of sort of did it yourself.
Yeah.
Well, back door. I'm going to leave that one alone.
So she made an emotional decision.
Now you're going to leave it alone?
Yeah.
You might as well take it all.
No, not that one. Not the back door. No.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Leave that be.
But I still ask the question, why this one? You know, it was an emotional decision that she made. We can tell based off the video.
Right.
Yeah.
And this rounding up these illegal immigrants has been going on for months now, at least 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
How many other immigrants does she have in her courtroom standing before her, knowing that they were rounding up immigrants that were breaking the law, illegals? Did she do this before? Or was this like just an emotional response? They're here to get them. I got to get them out of here.
If I were a betting man, I would think that this might be the way she does things normally.
Okay.
She may not have had to deal with ICE in the hallway, but I have a suspicion that she has not allowed certain individuals to get as close to ICE as they would normally be, and find ways to either absolve them of the crimes they have so they don't have to report to ICE, or find them a way to not have to go to ICE altogether. I would say it was a knee-jerk reaction if they had butt in the room. But she had time to think about her action enough to leave the courtroom and come back in and tell them to leave while still trying to distract that's not emotion. That is planned. That is planned.
The man was in court for a hearing for 3 counts of misdemeanor domestic battery. According to police records, the man was confronted by a roommate for loud music on March 12th, then allegedly fought with him in the kitchen and struck a woman who tried to break them up. Regarding Dugan's arrest, Attorney General Pam Bondi said in a video posted on social media,
law is very simple. It doesn't matter what line of work you're in. If you break the law, we will follow the facts and we will prosecute you.
That's a face only a dog could love. Like for real though, that face is not one that you find everywhere as often as you know. Wow. I have seen it somewhere before though, that particular face.
Oh God.
Uncanny.
The resemblance is striking.
That's
the
just
resemblance is striking. That's a blobfish for y'all who don't know what that is. That's a
I bet she has a TikTok account. All the thirsty dudes on TikTok will call her beautiful.
Oh,
geez, beautiful.
It's in the eye of the beholder. Some of us are just blind. Okay?
Hey, beautiful. You're so beautiful.
Hey, look,
Not
love
blind.
is blind. Love is blind. And some people are too. And some people are too. Just saying.
Love is blind if you're blind. That's the
If
only
you're,
word.
man, sometimes it pays.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this about her. As much as we may think that this will be a shot across the bow for others not to do it, I think we'd be wishing a little too much about that. I think what you're going to see are more stupid judges do the same, daring people to arrest them so that they can come back later and say, see, we told you that they were on a rampage of arresting judges. And if they do that, then the stupid people will believe them. Again, I keep telling people I have the wonderful the opportunity to be on the left side of X.
And but what people have to understand is that this is something they've talked about again. Corrupt judges, they're going after them all, whether it's illegal immigration, whatever it is, any type of corruption, whether you're throwing a citizen in jail for something minor, a nonviolent crime, and you're putting them in jail for 15, 20 years. That is corruption. So they're going to go after a lot more than that. It's not just these guys. So people have to understand when they're sitting back watching this saying, look, they're going after corruption. And what if I'm in that situation where a corrupt judge tries to, throw me in jail for something that I shouldn't be in jail for? They're going after all of that. So people need to be aware and be happy that this is happening, because it's exposing the corrupt judicial system that we've all talked about.
Now,
again,
go ahead,
bro. The thing is, though, is that these are the same people who are upset about this type of justice, but they're not upset about the exorbitant amount of spending that our government has been doing over the last course of few decades. Like, what are we talking about here?
What is his name again? All of a sudden, I forget. That's crazy that I forgot his name.
Who is he? What does he do?
He's a judge, a black guy.
Oh,
Clarence
Thomas.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking up something here. I'm gonna find something real quick, and y'all can tell me if this is something that you would have heard. All right, this is The Nation. I'm gonna bring this up for you so y'all can see this for yourself. All right, because you know me, I don't want nobody to say I be lying about nobody saying nothing. This was an article that was written back in 2024. Okay, 2024, February 2024. That's before Trump won. Just in case people will have a problem with math. Clarence Thomas broke the law. Why is he not being prosecuted? What has to happen for somebody to be prosecuted?
Conviction.
They had to be convicted.
Arrested, right?
Arrested, yeah.
Too.
Oh. So you mean you were fine with the idea of a Supreme Court judge, not circuit, Supreme Court judge being arrested? This is the left. The debate about whether Supreme Justices are bound by ethics rules drew attention away from the fact, they say fact, that Clarence Thomas's conduct violated federal law. Okay? Now hear me out. Federal law, Supreme Court judge. But we're talking about a circuit court judge who did indeed violate and block the lawful arrest of somebody, and they're kicking up an absolute storm about it. But when they were talking about Clarence Thomas, because he's a conservative man, please arrest him, send him to jail because he broke the law. But the difference is, one can be proven that they did something wrong, the other you can't. So I'm trying to figure, when did you guys start caring about the judges going to jail? Well, is it not before Clarence? Because I remember y'all asking Gorsuch and stuff to go to jail too.
That's right.
Y'all forget that? No? Oh, I thought that was y'all that had protests and effigies and stuff outside the court and even going to the man's house. I thought that's what happened to the judges when y'all didn't like them. Am I wrong?
Doxing them and stuff,
Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's a Twilight Zone episode.
And the thing with the left, man, they don't even see their own hypocrisy, which is pretty sad. The internet's forever. Just like we showed in the beginning of the show, where we show Rachel Madcow talking about, what the law, what'd she say?
No one's above the law.
No one's above the law. And it showed each timeline. Now our tune changes when it's someone on the left. This is how they operate.
Yeah.
The left can do exactly the same thing. The right can do exactly to the T. But they're going to find a reason to say what they did is okay, but what the right did is wrong. And it could be the same exact crime. Exact. But they're always going to try to spin it to where, no, this is the left and it's not as bad as what they did on the right. But if people actually did their research and looked at the stuff that they're putting out, they could say, wait a minute. They did something just as bad as this person. How come this is okay and this isn't?
Wait a minute.
People don't care.
That happened. Letitia James.
Who?
Letitia James.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Gloria.
yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Gloria is living proof.
But when Letitia James, when Donald Trump did it, it was all over the place, all over the news. Donald Trump going to jail. That's all the left kept saying. But when she does it, you barely hear about it. It's the people on the right.
Stop talking about the Black Queen.
Yep.
We
can't talk about her, but it's the same thing.
No one is above the law.
No one. No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one
right.
is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one
Right.
is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
How you like that?
Hey, they're right. No one's above the law.
No one's above the law, everybody. We agree with you. Nobody
Yes.
is above the law. In fact, I remember when we were doing the covering the case of Mr. Trump about the federal things that they said he was doing wrong, because he's a felon now. And we tried to get people to answer the simple question of what federal law that he broke and what makes him a felon. If you can tell us that, that'd be amazing.
Right.
But they couldn't tell us what the felony was. They couldn't tell you what the felony charges, under what code, none of that. But he was a felon and always will be a felon, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'll give you this. He went to court, did what he had to do, and now your people get to do the same. How about that?
Right.
Fair. Fair is fair. Okay, cool.
See, they don't like lawfare at all until it's happening to them. And I wouldn't consider this lawfare. I consider this doing the right thing. But what they did was different under Trump. That was lawfare, and that was, no one is above the law under lawfare. But under real law, we can't do this. This is the Trump administration going after judges. Can't do that. And they'll spin it, call it lawfare. That's exactly what they'll do.
Yeah. And hey, and it'll pass. It'll pass for lawfare. And it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. We good. Y'all just don't understand the law.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I find interesting is how their people can say just about anything violent and it stays in the spot that it is. No one goes after them. They don't even get inspected or nothing like that. And I don't know how many of you have seen the next video I'm going to put up. Maybe all of you have seen it already, but I'm curious to see if there's anything will be done about this individual. Because normally when we say stuff, we get either struck or most of us get this open up FBI thing going on.
Yeah.
And I want to say this to YouTube. This is not our opinion. This is your people's opinion. Okay. I just want you to know this is your people's opinion.
To achieve true liberation, that's by taking it in blood. There has to be blood all over the floor. There has to be bodies on the floor. There has to be people screaming and crying. That is the reality. And this is what history shows me. No amount of begging, no amount of complaining, no amount of protesting, nada is going to get you your liberation until you take it with blood. You see? So this is why I sit back and I don't play along with any of these black people talking about it's a spiritual war and this, that, because when those cops are going into our neighborhoods and shooting our babies, that's a physical thing.
What cops are going into your neighborhoods and shooting babies? I'm pretty sure that's your people.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure that y'all in Pookie doing drive-bys and popping bullets all over the place, and it's going through houses and busting windows and killing kids. I'm sure that's you doing that, not cops.
That's right.
I mean, I understand you want to be a tribe that didn't do nothings, but come on, bro.
You see, y'all so worried about the spiritual world, but you're not worrying about the world that's right in your face. When we're getting thrown in prison, that's a physical thing, right? Address the physical. You see, this is why I say don't hit my phone until y'all ready to do what y'all know we got to do. When y'all ready to go outside and hunt them white boys, hunt them cops, go to that white boy's neighborhood and fuck his shit up. When y'all ready to do what y'all know we got to do, hit me. But until then, I'm not playing around with y'all because it's all of these excuses for why we don't want to do it. Why? Many of us are scared. You know what I mean? Many of us are complacent in our oppression. Many of us don't want to burn the relationships we have with white people, all of these things. So I'm going to sit back and do my thing. When y'all ready to go outside and take blood, hit me anytime. But you see, a lot of us are not ready to do that. But I'm trying to tell y'all, there is no freedom. There is no liberation for our people until there's blood on that floor, on that battlefield. And that's the truth we don't want to admit.
Now, I played that for one very specific purpose. They denounce people who are not politicians that participated in J6 because they said they were violent towards the the government.
Yeah.
And that the left never incites violence.
Mm-hmm.
However, what he just said was when you're ready to go kill white people and mess their neighborhoods up and kill cops, hit him up, he's ready to roll. Of course, that's not inciting violence. That's just oppression speaking. And oppression is feeling very oppressed. So they need to lash out because you can't do nothing but feel oppressed and be angry. If we feel oppressed by the government, though, you can't say nothing. You need to shut up. I'm going to tell you one thing. That Negro couldn't do nothing to no white boy, no matter how much he tried. He gay. He will not be able to do nothing. He can't do it. So why he waiting on other people first? Because he's a sissy. He's a sissy. He a little boy, and he can't do nothing against no white boy. None. He wouldn't go personally and do nothing. He waiting for everybody to come and say, let's go, man. Come on, let's go. Do something yourself. I bet you won't. I bet you money you'll be the first crying, but I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. You'll be the first doing that, you little sissy. You can't do nothing. You waiting on us to roll. Roll how?
And do what? Do what? Do what?
Well,
what are you going to just roll up in the neighborhood, assuming that it's only white people that live there, shoot up their neighborhood, and don't think that there's other people of different races that live there that are going to protect their neighborhood that look like you?
Man, you get popped so quick.
No, jeez.
You ain't there's no allies in that fight, man, because you got to worry about people that aren't on either side. They just don't want to have nothing to do with this division.
Right. Yeah.
They don't want nothing to. You have to worry about those people that will pop you and them, all you divided people. So who you gonna look for? Who gonna help you? They'll run. They will run the minute them first rounds start popping off for real.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The thing is, they get to say what they want. They get to act how they want. They get to push whatever agenda they want, and nobody must say anything. They always have an excuse for it. We're oppressed. You're Nazis. When we say something, you need to shut up. You're a Sambo. You're a coon, or you just like Orange Man because he Hitler. This is why I tell people I'm so happy that they're starting to dismantle the education department and do everything they're doing, because we wouldn't be in the situation where people are defending the obvious against the law motions of a judge and calling it, the government's going after. That's how stupid the people of the nation has become. We've gone from a nation of scholars to a nation of stupid. And it is absolutely infuriating to have to deal with these people on a daily basis. I've been trying my best and be nice to people, but I can't. I'm sorry. I can't be nice to stupid. It's just not. I'm sorry. I've tried. Like I went into a live the other day on TikTok, and it was a conversation that started off about about immigrants. That's what they were trying to say, but it was really the conflation of immigrants and illegal immigrants. And they kept making trying to not make the differentiation between the two. And I got tired. I was like, I don't understand how y'all don't get this. An illegal person comes here touting their country, saying that they're running from violence while still trying to promote it here.
Yeah.
And a migrant leaves the country they know that is oppressive and comes here and adopts American way of thinking. We become Americans. We push American ideals. We follow the American law. That's what happens when you migrate. When you illegally immigrate to a country, you bring your own crap and your nonsensical stuff and all of your degenerate behavior and everything like that with you, still touting your country's flag while you're still trying to talk about amnesty.
Yep.
You're not here to try and make your life better for the American people. You're here to make money and send it back to your little crap country that you didn't want to stay in. And I could admit that my country is turned to crap. I could admit that. I will never live down there because it has become a socialist shithole, to say the least. That's what it has become.
Yeah,
it is filled with degeneracy and stupid people. I used to love my country, loved it. I loved Trinidad until socialism hit it. Then it seemed everybody just became retarded, just overnight retards. Nothing gets taken care of. So no, I don't want to go back there and claim that. I can't claim it no more. The country I grew up in is no longer there. That's not it. So I'm not going to claim that. I'm here. I'm an American now. That's the difference. And people like this Ruiz guy and the rest of these fools, I am in no way, shape, and form connected to them because they're illegal.
Yeah.
I'm a citizen. I went about it the right way. And judges that did what she did for him, I've seen before for illegal immigrants. They come here, and I'm not talking about a little, circuit judge. We're talking about immigration judges giving them preferential treatment to let them into places. I've seen it happen in front of me. So this whole thing has to be it has to be nipped in the bud. It has to. And it has to start with arrest. If I take you away from your position, you can't do this nonsense anymore.
And it's crazy that this judge thought it was okay to help an illegal immigrant out and continue to allow this immigrant to live on the taxpayer's dime.
Yeah.
That should tell you a lot about these judges. She doesn't care about the American taxpayer. She cares about making a political statement with this illegal criminal. And then while he's here, guess who's paying for that guy still? The taxpayer.
Us.
In some way, shape, or form, but they don't care. They just hate Trump and his policies.
The good thing is you can't go to other country and do what they're doing here.
No.
You get strung up quicker than you can blink. You get strung up. But somehow America has to be the butthole of everybody's joke. That's us. We just have to get railroaded every turn. And when we finally decide to stand up, we're bigots. And we don't accept the globe, and we don't love the people. We do not accept the globe. Not everybody belongs here.
Yep. And I've been to a lot of countries, and you don't go to other countries waving your country's flag as a visitor or an immigrant. You don't see it.
No.
You don't see people waving other countries' flags. You know what I mean? But in America, we allow it. You can have your whatever country flag you're from, and you're just showing your loyalty to that country right in our face. You're more loyal to the country you ran from than the country that accepted you and has given you all these benefits and all this stuff. You're not loyal to us. You're still loyal to the country you ran from. Then the country you ran from, you're trying to turn our country into that crap hole country you came from.
That part.
The stupidity of all of it is, look, at some point we have to admit this one thing to ourselves, okay? And I'll be frank with you. We still expect people on the left and some on the right to implement something we used to call smarts, okay? That no longer exists. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you cannot expect these people to implement critical, logistical, common sense thinking. They can't. They don't know how.
Yeah.
They're too used to being told what to think.
Yep.
They're given bullet points, and the bullet points feel good, so they push that. They don't investigate. They don't look into, and we're expecting them to be able to do. You can't. There isn't anything you can do to make them listen or reason. Debates only make you frustrated.
Yep.
You're not going to help them. It's like trying to go to a paraplegic and telling him we're going to run up a hill. And he's like, he's like, I couldn't do it. And you look at him like, do you understand what I just said? You can't. Trust me, it was a joke. You can't do it. I could do it. Goes trying to get out of his wheelchair and just collapses all the way. You see what I mean? But they don't want to admit that they're not that smart. But you should know. You're looking at them thinking, bro, your legs don't work, your hands don't work, your back don't work. How you gonna climb the mountain? And you're trying to tell them this is true, this is true, this is true. And they're like, no, it's not. Okay, just leave the paraplegic right there. Go up your mountain, get to your top, go enjoy your sulfur springs, and come back down. Forget them. They're not worth the time or energy.
And we did a whole episode on this a few months back. Remember the Mockingbird media?
Yeah.
And the Mockingbird media, it's worked. You can see it in real time. And it just boggles my mind that these people can't see it. You know, it's so obvious to me, the lies and the deceit and the propaganda that they're pushing, that I don't fall for it at all. Like Marla said, they put something out, you go and look at it. Then you try to research it yourself. But these people take everything for face value, and you can tell. Just listen to the media regurgitate, Maryland man, Nazi, and they'll say this over and over again. Then you talk to these left wing, what do you call them, Jay? These left wing what?
Bonobos?
Oh, bonobos.
Huh? Bonobos?
Yeah, bonobos. And listen to their lives and listen to their commentary on any platform. They regurgitate exactly what the Mockingbird media told them to regurgitate. So there's no changing them because they're already freaking programmed to say what they're saying. And you can't deprogram them. They're going to have to do that themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's an epidemic, people. It's a true epidemic. And unlike most places, you're not going to see a solve to it because they're too set in their ways. Look at them doing the sit-in right now on the steps. Talking about they've been there 10 hours. And every time you look at them, their clothes change.
And people believe it too.
like, bro, you've been moving. A true sit-in would be go there till your legs turn numb and you can't do anything else.
Right.
Like you can't get up and walk. They got to put you out on a stretcher. That would be a true sit-in.
Yep.
But not getting up every 2 minutes or 5 minutes to go take a pee break.
Yeah.
Pee yourself right there if you're that committed.
That's right.
Go 1, 2, sleep right in it, all of it. Do it right there. Don't get up.
Yep.
Don't go and get your little pampered ice cream and cup. No. Stay true to your course.
Yeah.
Sit down. Let your legs go numb, lose circulation. In fact, I just let them completely deteriorate so they can't even walk next time. You start having spinal problems. You get a head. Do it all. Go full. Look, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. I will root for you to stay out on those steps for 90 days. Stay there. Just stay. Don't move. Don't leave. Be there. Be consistent. You know what? Willpower is your solidarity. Stand.
Yeah.
We're here for you. Now, don't get mad at people who walk by and throw balloons at you and fill with water. I just understand that's soap. I'm just saying if you're gonna do this, do it right.
Right.
Which means you never get up. Nobody brings you food. Remember, this is a sit-in. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get no food. You don't get no water. You don't get a reprieve. You don't get a change of clothes. You don't get none of that.
Yep.
It's not a true sit-in unless you actually do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. If you look at that, you'll understand that they don't really have a concern about you. They have a concern about their image.
Right.
Because if they did care about you, they would have done something the last 4 years.
And when you look at these left-wing commentators and the regurgitation and the propaganda that they push, I'm not getting off topic, but look at this Donald Trump blue suit incident at the Pope's funeral. They were all saying the blue suit, Donald Trump should be ashamed of himself. Then people started panning out and looking at everybody, a lot more people in there with a blue suit. This is how they are. Yeah. They get their message out. They say these words. They get people all fired up and, angry without telling them the full story. And then once the damage is done, people find out the truth. The damage is already done. People don't want to hear anything else after that. Right. And this is exactly what they're doing with all this immigration stuff. They're not telling a full story. They're not telling the truth. They're only telling the people little emotional pieces to make them feel all emotional about it, but they're not giving them everything.
Nothing. In fact, they're giving them nothing.
Yep.
That's been the case. They've been giving nothing for I don't know how long now. I don't know how long, but they suck it up. They absolutely suck it up. And everything they do is about them and how you view them. And then once they say, see how much I care, the idiots will vote for them. And we'll do this. And as soon as they get in, they do nothing. And then you just go back, and in about 3.5 years, they come back to you and say, now we've been working, but this happened and this happened. And but if you vote for me again, this has been going on for 70 years now.
Yep.
So I'm glad this judge got arrested because this also has been going on for 70 years.
And you remember these politicians flying over to Venezuela and everything to try to talk to that immigrant that's over there.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, we kept saying, like, who is that? I don't know who that person is that's going over there, because we didn't know who they were.
Right.
All of this is for show. Everything these leftists do is for show. That sit-in is for show. That judge, it's for show. She doesn't care about that immigrant. And the ones that went over there to see that guy, whatever his name, Abigail, whatever that dude's name is, it was for show. This was a way for them to get their name in the media so people will remember them for this act, because they didn't accomplish anything. So when it's time to vote again, they'll be like, oh, I remember this person. They went to go save an immigrant. This has nothing to do with the people. This has nothing to do with those immigrants. This is about self-preservation for them and trying to hold their spot.
Remember and also self-recognition, because
yeah,
the more clout that they chase, the more they feel like they have certain social sway too.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. You got none. Sorry. Tough.
Yeah. We're not.
We're not. There are some that are, unfortunately. There are. Diddy's case is kicking off soon, by the way, people who don't know. And he has recently rejected a plea deal. Did you all know that?
No.
He rejected a plea deal. And he wants the thing to go to trial fully. And since that time, a official statement by Mr. Jakes is that he's stepping down completely from Potter's house. Coincidental, I'm sure.
So wait, you mean to tell me he was overwhelmed?
Overwhelming.
Is that what it was? He was
And he got swallowed. He got swallowed.
So why do you think he wanted to go to trial? What do you think?
I think this is my theory. I think it's because he has knowledge that the only thing he recorded was the sexual activity, not the drugging before the sexual activity, and that they can only prove that he was a degenerate, and that's the only thing you can. But it's not illegal to be a degenerate unless, of course, you involve some other things. And I think he knows that to where you can show the film, because they're now admitting that they can admit the elevator, outside the elevator in the hotel beating that Cassie had. They're allowing that. So I think they're trying to tinge the jury to think that he is a naturally violent person and blah, blah, blah. But as far as the case goes, I don't think they have much to go on, if my theory is right, that all they have is the sexual acts caught on film.
Even with the human trafficking that's been recorded?
There's no proof of that neither.
Really?
Huh. Yeah.
Now, what if he gets up there and just starts spilling the beans? What if this is part of his deal?
Yeah,
he's like,
if he does that, then he'd have to be willing to throw himself into prison, because he threw away the deal, the plea deal, which would have kept him. But if he goes up there and spills, he's spilling on everything, including himself, because he would have facilitated it. But I want to try and see if we can cover that, or there is a new unsealed document about the 2016 election.
I heard about that.
I have the paperwork, so if we want to cover that, we can do that.
What about that suicide from
Joffrey?
Yeah,
we could do her too. Virginia Giuffre. There's tons going on. Tons. Might do a triple header. That might be the best bet. Do the triple header. Get all three in one. So
why not?
Tune in Wednesday for that. That'll be an interesting little thumbnail. But
so exciting.
Yes. Wasn't that Inglorious Bastards that had that? Ooh, so exciting! That guy, I love that guy's acting. I like him. I think he's a great creep.
I'm gonna look for this video I found. I'm gonna look through my videos, but it was that lady who committed suicide, and she had a dead man switch. And there's a recording floating around and saying, if you're hearing this recording, that means that they got me. So I guess it was something, if she did disappear, there was this recording that she said, hey, if you're hearing this, that means they got me. And I guess there's some juice on it. So I'm gonna search for it. Maybe I don't know if it's AI, we never know these days, but I'm gonna see if it's legit. I'm gonna listen to it. Yeah, if it's out there floating around. Probably on Reddit, you could probably find it.
This is Diddy doing his deal. I'm going to show you as we end. This would be this is how most people on the left try to make deals with people.
Tonight, we have to make a deal.
What kind of deal?
A kind you wouldn't have the authority to make. However, I'm sure this mission of yours has a commanding officer.
This is the best thing ever.
A general. I'm betting for OSS would be my guess. Ooh, that's a bingo.
He was in Django too, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
He sure was.
bingo. That's how the left think that they come up with this brilliant idea. And they're like, man, I got you now. Not realizing that we're like, no, you don't got us. You could go ahead and make the deal. But then before you even get to where you're going to, it's over.
Yeah.
Let the left continue to be like this, people. Let them go bingo. Let them think that. Let them think they got a bingo. By the time they're done scratching the card off, they realize it's not bingo. I couldn't spell.
Right. That's the perfect way to put it.
Gimbo is what you actually spelled, but it wasn't bingo. Ooh, that's a bingo. Anyway, I thought we would at least end with a humorous note. So tune in Wednesday for the trifecta, not the trifecta hour. That's a different podcast. The trifecta of topics on the show. Oh, you guys have no problem. You should go check them out, by the way, the trifecta and the Legislative Lounge. They're really good podcasts. Yes. All friends of ours from TikTok. They're not as good as us, and I could admit that. I've said that to them multiple times. It's not that they're not good people. They're just not as good as us.
It's not that they're not good as us. It's their style. Their style is different.
No, we're better. We're better. Yeah. See, bro wants to be humble. I'm not. I'm not going to be humble. Savage Patriots is a cut above the rest. We're different and we better. And No Too Strong might not be going live tonight. I don't think so. Let me double check that before I talk out my derriere. I don't recall us setting it up. Let me verify. No. So far, no. But please go check out our videos. We've been working like madmen to put videos out, and 5 a day is not an easy task at all, considering that we have to sit there and record it.
Yeah. And so, you did your I watched part of it, your Mahdi episode. So I think everyone should check that out, because that's going to be very interesting.
I did do my Mahdi episode this morning.
Yeah, it was this morning, because I was on my way out and I had it on TV playing.
And I'll be tackling TD Jakes in the morning. So y'all stick around for that too.
You gonna be sweating like him? Oh
no, because I don't get swallowed.
I mean,
especially not in his crowd. I'll tell you that much.
Is he still considered a bishop?
Yes,
he stepped down.
Yeah,
he stepped down. I thought.
Oh, he did.
He's still a bishop. He's still a bishop. That's what's his title gonna be, is bishop till the day he die.
Really?
Yeah.
Figured he'd lose that.
It's not. The woman is loose, not him. Anyway.
I mean, yes.
He said, "Woman, thou art loosed." Anyway,
so is he.
He's like the Black Sauron, I think, is what it really comes down to. But we'll be back Wednesday. Don't forget to check out our rest of our videos, and please, if you don't mind, get people to go over to the Rumble to sign up. And we've actually been fluctuating back and forth, up in subs and down in subs on this platform, YouTube. But on Rumble, we've been slowly climbing up, which is good. Our goal is to get to somewhere in the region of the 5 to 10K by the end of this year. Oh, that's the hope. That's the hope. So if you guys don't mind, we are officially at 3,134 followers right now.
Nice.
So we jumped almost 500 subs from last week to now.
Wow. Amazing.
That is good. So please keep it up.
Yep.
Please keep it up. All right. If you guys don't mind, keep sharing our stuff, get us back on the radar elsewhere, and we'll get this thing moving. All right. So in the meantime, in the between time, Mr. Lee.
So I've continued to say this before, and if we're going to make our numbers bounce the way we want them to, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all Wednesday. Peace out.
Peace.
Whoa.